Hi there, welcome to Terraland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Pisces energy. And like usual on this channel, we're going to do two rows. The top row I refer to as high vibe Pisces energy. The bottom row, a more worldly, shadowy Pisces energy. We all have free will and we have to make these decisions, and some people could be debating within themselves right now. The top row can, or the bottom row can kind of represent our comfort zone or our fears or insecurities or self-limiting beliefs or something. And we'd have to overcome those in order to kind of move forward a little differently. The truth sets us free. You know, we can always go get different job, friendships, or relationships, but if we haven't worked through some of the things that manipulate us, we're going to be the same person in that next job, friendship, or relationship. So some people could be doing that work within themselves right now in order to free themselves and move forward in life. And some people don't feel the need to do that yet. You know, we're all kind of inspired to maybe want to free ourselves from some things that manipulate us. And some people aren't interested in freeing themselves from anything. You know, when you're living your life at a certain stage of life, in the middle of it, kind of you're okay, you're happy, you're going to keep living your life that way. And at the same time, well, some people could be living their life a certain way. Other people who've been living their life that way, they might start not enjoying it as much, you know. For example, when we turned 18 or 21 or 25, we could have been happy to turn those ages and we were living life at that age. But other people in that age group with us at that time, they could have been inspired to kind of start moving forward differently, you know, to go to the next stage of life. And we're like, why are you doing that? This is still a blast. Let's keep doing this. And, you know, again, we're all just at different stages. We all have different lessons to learn at different stages. Some people, the lesson they were meant to deal with at that stage of life is much maybe easier for them to work through than it is for us, or we have a different thing that we're working through. So it's kind of interesting. In the top row, we have all these cards not showing themselves. And the reason for it, and the reason why the reading came out, is the past life card. So part of the problem could be, is again, we'll all repeat certain patterns and go through certain phases of life, but then we don't want to keep repeating that same pattern. It's like, I'm ready to move forward a little differently. And sometimes when someone, again, is ready to do that, even though they might not know what the future holds, they know they don't want to keep doing this. So the reason for the bottom row's reading is the fulfillment card, but underneath that is the despair card. You know, there can be things that we're indulging in, say, a way of living life, things we indulge in, people, jobs that we have. And there could be a part of it that we like, but then there could be a part of it we don't like. But the despair card kind of reminds me of like the Three of Cups and the Five of Cups. We could feel like in the Three of Cups that maybe some people try to emotionally manipulate us or manipulate our loving nature. If it being like the Five of Cups, that can be that we could feel like it's a little superficial and shallow, and that, you know, it's not a more deep, meaningful relationship. But, or we could like the job, but we feel like some people are more manipulative or even hurtful or unkind. And same way, I guess, with the relationship. And so, you know, we can struggle. And that could be a pattern, you know. And when you do emotionally invest in people, this kind of reminding me of the Nine of Cups, which is Pisces, this kind of being Cancer and Scorpio. Those are the three emotional water sign energies. Maybe we're kind of used to being in relationships where we kind of indulge people in some poor behavior. And then, you know, it doesn't quite work out the way we want. And then it's like, why do I keep repeating this pattern of getting in relationships where I kind of have this hope and faith that everybody's motivated and inspired by love and to do more deep, meaningful relationships. And I find out, that we harness our Pisces energy differently. They're kind of more about happy repeating an old pattern. Maybe have some regrets of their own that they don't ever work through. And then they don't want you to work through your regrets or issues of the past. Because if you do, you'd free yourself. When we work through those things, it kind of sets us free. We're not the same person. We work through some pain, some heartbreak, some self-limiting beliefs, some regrets we have. And then when we do that, it sets us free. We're something that kind of had a hold on us that maybe controlled and manipulated us doesn't control and manipulate us the way it used to. We kind of make peace. I kind of view the past life card reminds me of the Six of Cups, which is Scorpio energy. When we offer truth and love to these things that manipulate us, regrets of the past, offer our self-love, to love and believe in ourselves, to heal, we're able to put those things from the past in the past. But there's other people in the world who never want to work through those issues. Let's just keep doing what we're doing. And then they want you to just keep repeating this pattern over and over. And shadowy energy can be where it is kind of dead and stagnant. It doesn't give birth to anything new. Love helps us heal and grow and mature ourselves so we can work through those things, grow up, mature ourselves, shed an old version of ourselves, shed a more immature, codependent, fearful, or whatever nature of ourselves. And we work through those things and we kind of give birth to a new version of ourselves, just like we did going from age 18 to 21 to 25. We shed the old version. We worked through the regrets. We could have seen we were staying in a cycle too long. And when we stay in a cycle too long, we might do it more of our fear of stepping outside of our comfort zone. We wouldn't keep repeating a pattern of the past. We'd have to move forward in life a little differently. And some people could try to do that, but then the things that kind of manipulate them keep manipulating them, and they keep repeating some old patterns or ways of living life or viewing life. Other people are in friendship or relationship with them. They could like things to move forward a little differently, but the other people keep being happy, kind of doing what they do. And eventually we might have to see the truth of it, accept the truth of it, that they're kind of on a different stage or phase of life or have a way of living life and viewing life that they still enjoy or love. That's not my truth. Makes me kind of sad. But I am ready to move forward. So it is like making peace with it, that I accept that everybody has free will to live their life the way they want to live it. Could I be sad because I could have hoped that some of those people worked through some issues to move forward in life a little differently, not letting those things manipulate them or indulging themselves in that way or whatever, but they do. And I have to accept the truth of it. And then I can be sad. And then it takes time. And for some people, they have already gotten out of something. And they're just doing this work within themselves to make peace with some of these issues from their past so they can leave it in the past. So let's go look. We have the garden card, the long road, the tree, and the gift. And then we have a card not showing itself, which is the wealthy woman. So the wealthy woman, the feminine figures can talk about how we think and feel. Everybody could look to things in the world. The wealthy woman would be like the Queen of Pentacles. I know the way for me to feel better is for me to go indulge in these things or these people. I'm sure that's the answer. And we've all kind of been there and done that. And some people, maybe more so than other people, that you kind of realize that that isn't the answer. And while you could have realized that, kind of seeing this isn't the answer. Either these things or these people that I am investing in or my own more worldly nature, it's not working out for me. Or the people I'm investing in, it's not working out for me. And it could be sad because I could have love for them. But if I don't feel like they work with me cooperatively, or the Queen of Pentacles, the King and Queen of Pentacles is the only married to the deck. Maybe some people want to get in a more formal commitment, other people don't. So they harness this energy differently. And some people could have created the illusion that, yes, that's what they wanted to do. That this being like the Nine of Cups and Pisces is kind of like our dreams that we have. Yes, that's a dream I'm willing to bring into reality. I want to do that too. But yet, then they never invest in it. Shadowy energy can just be being more codependent. You could be more aligned with and codependent on your defensive nature, indulging your immature nature, indulging in other things, indulging in other people, being caught up in the world, caught up in your ego, whatever it could be. And in order to move on from this phase of life, people would have to see the truth that some of the things they invest in or align with aren't really investing in them in that way. Again, everybody can have people in their life that they love, that I would like to move forward, but I want those people to move forward with me. Well, what if those people aren't willing to move forward with you, but other people in your life are? Well, some people are going to be like, nope, they're going to turn their back emotionally to the people who want to move forward. It's like, no, if these people aren't going to move forward in life differently, then I'm not going to move forward in life differently. And sometimes it can even be someone you wanted to marry or someone you were married to, but it could be things they're addicted to, friends or family members that is like, you didn't know it, but that is like the primary foundation in their life. And even if they marry someone, that friend group or their original family group or whoever it is, that is really more what they're married to. But they also could be like married to their defensive nature, their ego nature, their indulgent nature, their self-indulgent nature. And you just kind of see that these people aren't independent. They haven't reconciled themselves with some issues or people in their life or behaviors. They're not going to become independent of it. And some of the things that can manipulate some other people in our life, those things don't manipulate us that way, or those people don't, or they also could have been hiding that some people that in their Taurus is kind of about our philosophy of life, that they don't ever want to step out of their comfort zone. They don't ever want to do things different. They don't want to become independent of maybe making their life more about conforming to the world. We should do this, and we should participate in these things, and we should act this way, and we should do this. And it's all about trying to conform to the world. Other people maybe have lived their life enough conforming to the world. And it's like, I want to be more independent. I feel like I'm not living my more authentic life. Can I still want to do some of those things? Have my job, have my friendships, have my relationships, participate in certain functions and organizations? Yeah, but I want to feel free, high vibe energy, about being more independent, to stand in my truth, be respected, that I have my own opinion and I have my own truth and my own dreams or aspirations. And sometimes feeling like I have to more conform to the world, that I can't even invest or just do things that I really like to do. High vibe would be from truth and love. I'm not trying to be hurtful or unkind or outrageous or toxic. I just want to go live my more authentic life in truth and love. And there can be other people in our life who are like, no, you should do this, and you should live life like we live life, and you should hang out with these people, and you should do these things, and you shouldn't become more independent of us or them or the world, and let the world manipulate you, let me manipulate you, let these other people manipulate you, let your worldly nature, your ego, your fear, all those things kind of manipulate you. And some high vibe people are like, I don't like feeling like things manipulate me. You might be okay with things manipulating you, but I don't like it. I don't find that very just or fair or loving. But the other people could still view it that way and think it's just and fair and loving. So Libra energy, represented by the scales of justice. We want justice and fairness and balance. The long road, like the tree card, which says Virgo on it, I view the long road as Virgo energy. You know, it's taking these slow, steady steps like every day to move forward in a balanced way. And part of that is to accept this gift that we have. The gift to live our authentic life, to free ourselves from things that manipulate us, to quit being more manipulated by the world or our more worldly nature. And we've all been more immature and more emotionally invested in being more caught up in the world, all these things that we want to go invest in and indulge in that we are sure will make us happy. And, you know, we went through that stage of life. Other people have went through that stage of life. It's just that some people are still in that stage of life. And we might feel like maybe in their Virgo nature within themselves that their long-term goal is to keep being more about emotionally being invested in making their life more about the world, having a certain status or image in the world, whatever they like to make their life about or indulge in to whatever degree. And for some, it's not bad. I mean, they could seem very stable, very grounded, very mature in a way. It's just that they don't want to be more independent of the world and making their life more about conforming to the world for some of them. And other people are kind of like, I can't keep making this like this is the epitome of why I'm here, is just to have a certain status or image or stability and security in my life. What about investing? That's like high vibe Virgo. In my own truth, my own unique dreams that could be different than what other people is their idea of the dream life and the things that they find emotionally fulfilling. At one time, I could have found those things emotionally fulfilling, but then it is to kind of listen to our intuition, which is what Pisces can be about, that I keep being inspired to keep growing and maturing myself and continuing to free myself from things that manipulate me. To keep going on that journey, you know, again, where we keep shedding old versions of ourselves to give birth to the next version of ourselves. You know, I was 18. I lived life as an 18-year-old. It was great. I kind of was fearful of leaving it behind, but I had a dream of shedding that version of myself to keep investing in loving and believing in myself, facing my fears to become more like a 21-year-old, for example. But at any stage of life that we're at with people, even when we're 35, 45, 55, other people could be living their life at a stage of life and they're like, I'm still happy doing this. I think we should keep doing this. And it's like, you know, it's like not learning anything anymore. When someone in a typical like Queen of Pentacles card, they would be holding the one pentacle, which is like about truth and love. And it's like, but we're not giving birth to anything new. We just keep repeating an old pattern over and over. Aren't you inspired kind of within yourself to want to work through some of these things that manipulate you, to free yourself from some of your baggage or whatever, to give birth to the next version of yourself? And some of the people are like, no, I want to keep doing this. I like this. Let's keep doing this. And we don't want to keep emotionally investing in that phase of life anymore. And it can be hard because then some of the people that we had a dream that they would keep moving forward with us and going through these cycles with us, they want to keep staying at a certain phase of life, which we can relate to because we've been there, we've done that. It's just we don't want to keep investing in it. It's starting to make us sad, maybe making us feel like, and maybe even feel like we're being emotionally manipulated or manipulated by our more worldly nature, or see that other people are more manipulated in their worldly nature. And then it could be to accept the truth. With some people, I do think they think it's just and fair to make their life more about the world instead of being more independent, growing and healing and maturing themselves. And we could have helped each other grow and heal and mature in a relationship, but then one of the people in it could have hoped that it was just going to stay that way. And that makes me even think of a workplace. People can get in a workplace, and generally in a workplace they want, to keep moving forward, And some people, at some jobs, it's like, oh, this is our job and it's never going to change and you will be doing this for the next 40 years. And it's like, oh my gosh, did I like it? Did I enjoy it? Is there people there I could like? But nothing ever changes here. I'm not going to be able to give birth to anything new. I'm going to keep doing this forever, And then high vibe Virgo is kind of investing in your own unique talent, skills, and interests. It's like, it's scary to maybe leave, but if I have an opportunity where I feel, that there is no future growth here for me, that I'm going to face my fears to make peace with the fact that I might move away from this. And some people could be looking for a new job, but it can go both ways. Some people are trying to, in relationships and workplaces, get people to keep moving forward. And then it would maybe be some of the employees that don't want to move forward differently. Like, no, I just want to keep doing this. It's like, well, we didn't kind of, especially if they hired them expecting you would kind of learn this and then you'd take on more responsibilities. Then we maybe hire someone else to learn that, and you would keep learning more, and taking on more responsibility. And some people are like, how about you could keep giving me more responsibility and paying me more, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm not willing to change, so, and some people could be sad even about the way they're doing things right now, I know someone who's worked somewhere for like 8 years and their office reflects it. I don't think one piece of paper has been filed in an appropriate area in a file cabinet. It's just all over and piled up all over. If anybody else needed any of that paperwork, and none of it is frivolous paperwork, it is all accounting for something, because I have an accounting degree. But it's not where anyone else can find it, so people could be disappointed that they don't seem to see the truth, that the way they're doing things isn't moving things forward, and they could seem to lack the emotional motivation to want to change. And so then some people could be kind of thinking, that's too bad, but, if you deal with paperwork that needs to be filed away in an appropriate spot, and that does not seem to be something you are willing to do, then I don't know if you can keep working here anymore, for example. Some of you might have dealt with a Libra or a Virgo, thought you were going to get justice, thought you were on the same page. Not everything works out the way that we want. And that's sad. And then we can stay sad for quite a while, and we could even stay sad hoping that one day, whatever it is that those people went to go invest in, that one day they'll quit investing in that and they'll come back and reinvest in us. And There could be some people sitting in that energy. High vibe people don't want to be manipulated, and especially if they treated people in a just and fair and authentic and loving way. If your idea of what you think is just and fair and what I want to kind of give birth to and what you want to give birth to next is different, then I accept the truth of it. I work through the fact that I'm sad about it. But if what I want to manifest is different than what you want to manifest, high vibe people make peace with it. And they do this work within themselves to accept the truth. And that's how they're able to move forward and let go of some issues. Let's go see what these cards are. Lilies in reverse, routine in reverse, rider in reverse. Then we have the cross, the family room, the poverty card, and the trumpet card. So the lilies card says Capricorn on it, which Capricorn can talk about these things that we view as victorious and successful that we kind of want to manifest in our life. And we could have realized we harnessed our Capricorn energy differently. Again, what we view as victorious and successful in high vibe energy is based on truth and love. But some people, they don't even want to invest in love. Again, maybe want to be in relationships to be in relationships, could enjoy being in relationships, but you could feel like they more indulge themselves emotionally in a relationship and maybe feel they haven't freed themselves from being more about themselves or their defensive nature or issues from their past to even do love. And then, you know, the routine card is kind of like repeating an old pattern, and some people, again, they have this way of living life, viewing life, they're happy with it. Kind of could have been a pattern. You're used to maybe dealing with some people who are like that. Needless, we all grow up in the world in the first 30 to 50 years of our life. We're all pretty caught up in the world. So needless, being in relationships with people who are kind of more caught up in these things of the world is a routine, a pattern that we're used to. The rider card is Aquarius energy. And in high vibe, you know, in a more worldly sense, it's more again about being in a relationship. It's good for the ego and image. It looks like you have victory and success in this more worldly view of life. Look like your dream has come into reality. But it isn't really, again, feeling like it's looking at life from a higher perspective in high vibe Aquarius energy, which is having hope and faith and belief and love. So just kind of accepting the truth that some of the people in your life harness their Capricorn, Aquarius, Libra, Virgo, Pisces, can't emotionally, they're more aligned with making their life more about looking victorious and successful in the world, enjoying themselves in relationships and enjoying relationships, but it's all more about maybe conforming to the world. And that's not your truth. You are more inspired within yourself to not let the world and your more worldly nature, because that's kind of settling. Pisces also can be about illusions and realizing there's more to life than that. Do I want to be in a relationship and have my jobs and all those things too? Yes. But for that to be the extent of my dream, and that's it, for some people, that does make them happy. For other people, they're maybe more inspired within themselves, again with the cross and harnessing a more high vibe Aquarius energy, to believe there's more to being in a relationship or getting in a relationship and all these things that we do than just for a certain status or image and indulging ourselves, that there's a higher truth and justice to aspire to. And I view that as high vibe Taurus, which high vibe Taurus is not being so manipulated by the world, but that there is a higher truth and justice to aspire to. There's more purpose than just us indulging ourselves in this more worldly view of life. You know, and because then it could just be more about us, and that can be shadowy energy, where it's just more about me and what I got going on and how good my life is or victorious and successful. Do we want the whole world to hopefully move forward in life differently? Do we want people in the world to heal and grow and mature themselves and work through their fears and insecurities? Some of the more shadowy people would be like, who? What? Why would I give a damn about any of those people? I got my own life to worry about, you know, but it is, hopefully, if you align with your truth and your unique talent, skills, and interests, and you free yourself more from conforming to the world to shine more of your authentic light in the world, which can be different than your friends or your family, whether it's music or art or that, you know, whatever, you know, people you know could be in certain industries or career fields. Yours could be different. That's not as conforming to the world, maybe, or what they do. They could have gotten in careers and friendships and relationships where it's more about what they get paid or the status or the image or whatever, and not really what's aligned with their truth. And they could be okay with it, but some people are less okay with that. It's like, I have got to get myself in something that's more aligned with my truth. I want to be in workplaces or a career that is really aligned with my truth, that I have a knack for or that I like and I enjoy, versus another one could be more exciting or have more money or more status. But either I don't like that job or I don't really like the people at it or something, you know? And I'm going to invest in my truth. And so it's kind of doing this work behind the scenes, is what the family room can talk about, to detach from this things that could manipulate you or your own fears or your own insecurities or your own lack mentality. And then we have the Trumpet card, which, because there's looks like they're sitting on like a hill overlooking a valley and water, kind of has that kind of Virgo energy about doing that work within yourself, to work through being inspired within yourself, to work through your own fears and insecurities, to go live your more authentic life, aligned with your truth, and being more independent. And then people can have people in their life. Well, if you go do that, then we're not going to invest in you anymore because you're more independent of us. You're not willing to indulge us. You're not doing these things. We do these things. We view life this way. You view life different. And if you view life different and you don't do life like we do, then we don't want to be in friendship or relationship with you. And some people know I've known some people who are like that with people in their life, that they don't like people being more independent. They don't like people not letting them manipulate them. They let things manipulate them. They want other people to let things manipulate them or the same things manipulate them. And they don't like it when people free themselves from those things and they're not willing to be manipulated by it anymore. And some people just have a very shadowy Taurus, can be kind of stubborn, which anyone in their own Taurus energy within themselves. This is what's just and fair. This is how you should live your life. I decided in my Libra energy, in my emotional nature, that this is what's just and fair and right. And you really shouldn't maybe even invest in yourself emotionally to love and believe in yourself. And you should make your life more about conforming to the world. Well, of course, they think that's just and fair because that's what they did. They kind of gave up being more independent and standing up for themselves and loving themselves. So, of course, if they didn't and they decided that was just and fair, even if they're sad, well, they think since they decided that and they're not willing to be more independent, then other people who get in friendship and relationship with them Well, you should do that too. And I don't really care if you're sad, I'm sad, but this is how we should live our life, or this is how these people tell us to live our life. This is how my family says to live our life. This is what my friends are doing. We want to be friends with them, don't we? And we want them to like us, don't we? The poverty card of the Five of Pentacles can talk about being willing to detach from a foundation or ways of living life or habits or vices or whatever. And you might go through a period of feeling left out in the cold. And some of the other people might not have more hope and faith and belief in themselves and know how to love themselves, to be loving and encouraging to themselves, to keep believing in themselves so they could be more emotionally codependent on a foundation in their life or people in their life to play that role in their life, and they never kind of take over that role within themselves. So because they're not willing to go through a period of feeling left out in the cold to maybe go find people who are more on the same page as them, they keep kind of maybe indulging their own shadow nature and in turn indulging other people in their life, even if they're sad about it. And they might get other people to stay in relationship with them because they're not willing to. It can look very just, fair, stable, and balanced. And there can be a lot of things people like about it. It's just that they could feel it's not aligned with my truth. I don't think they maybe love me. I maybe don't love them. I could feel like it's more superficial and shallow, and it is more about the ego and image and presenting this illusion of how wonderful things are. But I think it's more superficial and shallow and fake. It's like the illusion of love, but not really inspired by the truth of love. It's all about having a certain image or status in the world, conforming to the world, indulging certain people, whoever seems to have more power or influence that everybody indulges, you indulge them also. And some other people said, that's not my truth. That might be your idea of the dream life. It's not my idea of the dream life. And then they do this work within themselves to love and believe in themselves, to stand up for their truth and to invest in their truth, offer other people truth and love for those people to work together with them in that way, in a more just, fair, stable, grounded, authentic, balanced, loving, inspired by love way, respect each other as their own individuals. Not everybody's got to do everything the same. It doesn't everything have to be groupthink. And if people aren't respecting people as their own individual that has their own unique talent, skills, and interest, isn't as much about those things, hey, you go do that if you want to do it. That's not my thing. Well, how dare you? If we go do this and we invite you, you should come and you should do it. It's like, I don't really care for that. I don't invite you to everything that I do that I already know you don't like and try to guilt trip you and force you to do it, but yet you tried to do that to me. How about I wish you peace? Sorry I couldn't be there to a degree, but that's not really my thing, And some people, even though they're sad, will turn their back on you. Not willing to become independent of the things in turn that manipulate them. Oh my God. What's coming up for the people who harness some high vibe Pisces energy that are listening to their intuition about some of the people in their life? They could already know some people when a card is in reverse. They could know that some people harness those energies in a very shadowy way. Very much about having a certain image or status in the world, or money and materialism, or kind of being full of themselves and more about themselves in a shadowy Capricorn and Aquarius energy. Lack some hope and faith and belief in love or listening to their intuition. No. That could only get us in trouble. Let's just keep doing this and make our life about this. And some other people are like, you go ahead. I have accepted the truth that some of the people in my life have different things that drive and motivate them. I wish them peace and love, but I am not willing to give up my dreams to make it more about them or more about those things of the world or indulge those people that they indulge. I'm going to go live my truth with other people who seem to be on that same page. What's coming up? And there could be people, you know, when we're going through life, we kind of have this free will and we kind of pick who we're going to more invest time, energy, and effort into. And we didn't stay in or get in certain friendships or relationships with certain people because we were at where we were at and we invested in other people and relationships. And then we could kind of realize that because we had to go on this journey to learn these lessons to help us get more clear about what our truth is and our truth wasn't, that there could have been some people in our life that we got out of friendship or relationship with because we didn't view ourselves at that time as being on the same page. But some of those people were people who wanted us to more love and believe in ourselves, but maybe we didn't at that point in time. So then when we get out of some situations, we could communicate with some other people that we know. And some people have communicated. Other people just don't know it. That you could have communicated with some other people in your life about the lessons that you did learn and how you did have to work through maybe your more own codependent nature, your past pain and heartbreak, you were repeating an old pattern, maybe had a lack mentality, had to learn to love yourself, thought you had to work more with these things of the world, didn't really trust listening to your intuition. But all of that is things that you have seen the truth of, and you can communicate that truth to other people. And then for those people, it's for them to decide. And some of those people are like, oh shit, you did all that and you've kind of reconciled yourself with that. I'm still kind of doing this. And then it's like, well, I've communicated my truth. I guess then the ball's in their court for them to do this if they want. And if they don't, they don't. If they do, they do. Whoever doesn't, you wish them peace. And, you know, there's someone that you used to know that you could have fond memories of. But can only work with the people who've done this work within themselves, who've worked through some of those regrets of the past to be free of them. What's coming up for the high vibe people they don't see coming? The Ten of Swords. Why? Because of the Queen of Swords. So I view the Queen of Swords as Aquarius energy and the Ten of Swords as Gemini, which is about our dualistic nature. But it can also, the Ten of Swords can talk about closing out a cycle. You could have felt betrayed. Some people could have not, you know, you could have been in a friendship or relationship with them. They seemed just, fair, stable, grounded, like your dreams are going to come into reality. And then they could have quit investing in that way of being. Because they could have some unresolved issues, or as they move forward in that way of being, they don't want to like give birth to anything new. Let's just keep doing this. And so it stays dead and stagnant. The Queen of Swords can be emotionally, whether you're male or female, that you kind of felt betrayed. If you're willing to work together with people in a just and fair and loving manner, you know, it's confusing when other people who you thought were those kind of people aren't acting that way anymore. Or you thought you were going to bring this dream into reality. You thought you were on the same page. And then you find out, oh, well, no, I'm not willing to do that. I thought we were just going to keep doing this. And it's like, well, again, kind of accepting the truth. How I want to move forward is different than how you want to move forward. You defend completing a cycle and moving forward. They keep defending that cycle, even though there's like nothing new to learn there in the Ten of Swords. We've learned everything we needed to learn here. The only reason we might keep doing it is because of our fear or insecurity. It's like staying like an 18 or 21-year-old forever because you have fear of being more bold and brave and detaching from an old way of living life to try to move forward in life a little differently. And you're ready to move forward differently, and they're not. So the people in your life who are going on this journey with you, who also are willing to work through fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs to keep believing in their dreams. Like I say, Aquarius energy also can be about our dreams. Like there's, in order to keep moving forward, I kind of have to look at the things I have been investing time, energy, and effort into. What are the things that are moving forward, like the good building blocks to take with, and what are not such good building blocks to keep taking with, or investing in, or indulging in. And I need to free myself from those things if I want to keep moving forward to attain this future goal and dream, and seeing the truth of what needs to be let go of. And it can be letting go of people who also, in their Aquarius energy, have a different dream, look at life from a different way, could be kind of more shadowy. They're maybe more caught up in the world, more caught up in themselves, full of themselves. They're the star of the show. People should indulge them. It's more about them. Like, your dream can't come into reality without me. It's like, my dream can't come into reality with you if this is your energy. And I see the truth of it. Your truth is different than my truth. Your long-term goals are different. What motivates and inspires you is different. I see the truth of it. My dream can only come into reality with other people who have closed out some of these old ways of being. Those are the people my dream can come into reality with. I'm not willing to let go of my dream. I just let go of the people. If their dream is different, I accept that. You know, when we look at what our idea of the dream life is, there's just so many things about it. You know, where do you want to live? In town, in the country, animals, no animals, small town, medium-sized town, big town. Is it going to involve religion or spirituality at all? Are you kind of on the same page as that? Are you going to support each other in that? Do you respect each other as having your own dreams? Or, you know, some people don't want other people to invest in their dream. I want you to make it all about me. Other people don't want people to look at life from a higher perspective and have more hope and faith and belief in themselves because they don't. You shouldn't do that. You should make your life more about these things. And it's like, well, you might make those things more important in your life. I could invest in some of those things and enjoy some of those things, but I also have other things I want to invest in that are part of my dream. Oh, well, no, you shouldn't invest in anything else, just this. It's like, I accept the truth. A cycle has closed. And doing this work within yourself, you know, we all could have had things that didn't work out the way we wanted, and we're sad and we feel betrayed. High vibe people don't want to keep staying in that negative energy, so they do this work and effort within themselves, work through their fear, work through the confusion, work through the emotional confusion, accept the truth that people are motivated and inspired by different things. That's their free will. And if I'm motivated to work together with people in truth and love and justice and fairness, well, maybe some of those people, even though they present themselves as that type of person, they really could be defensive to that truth. Because then it can't be more about them or the world or whoever or whatever kind of manipulates them. It's like the third party in your relationship should be love. And they have something else as the third party in their life. And then they want you to let that be the third party in your life. And it's like, that's not my truth. I have hope and faith and belief in myself, in my dreams, and in love. And I don't think you do with some of those people. So what's coming up? You're going to have a new beginning, more in alignment with your truth, with people that you could have known, people you are meeting, not wanting to repeat an old pattern. Anybody in your life who has a way of living life or viewing life that is kind of like some people in your life that you've already been there and done that, is like, no, I don't want to do that. Already been there and done that. You know, I'm looking to give birth to something new emotionally. I don't want to repeat those old patterns. I don't want to be in it more just to be in it because I'm sad, or to be in it for stability or security, or to be in it out of pride or ego. I want to be in it because of love. I want a job that I love. I want to be in friendships and relationships with people who are just and fair and loving. And I'm not going to keep investing time, energy, and effort into the things and people who aren't. If that's not their truth, then they can go invest in someone else, and I'll go invest in someone else. And I'll work through feeling betrayed about it. I will free myself. What's coming up for the people who harness a more worldly, shadowy Pisces nature? The Ten of Swords, the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles. And the reason is because of the Three of Pentacles. Something that the more worldly, shadowy people, some of them that you know, they never do this. And they're always surprised when other people do it. They're surprised that other people quit making their life more about the world. The Three of Pentacles is Capricorn energy. Being in a relationship or staying in a job more for the ego or the image or the status of it. They're always surprised that other people love themselves and kind of heal and grow and mature themselves and free themselves from things that manipulate them. Because they never do that. They keep emotionally investing in those same ways of being because you have to be willing to see the truth. They could be very much manipulated by their worldly nature, but the shadowy people are very much emotionally invested in the world and working with things of the world, and the things of the world and the status and the ego and the image or themselves or whatever is the most important thing. They might not want to see the truth that they don't really work together with people cooperatively from love. But they could like to view themselves as a very loving, nurturing person, just, fair, stable, grounded. And in a lot of ways, they can be. And that's why people get in relationship with them. It's just that when it comes time for them to maybe detach from a foundation and become more independent and work through some things that they need to become independent of, well, no, that's when the relationship can be over. Because they could think they don't have to change. So kind of in their ego nature, they could be a little full of themselves. No, other people need to change. I don't need to change. And other people could have seen that they're not as immature or stubborn or prideful or whatever as some other people that they knew in their life. So they thought they had detached from that way of living life. They thought they had learned some of these same lessons that they'd learned. They got in a relationship with them. And as time goes by, they kind of realize that, you know, they could have grown and healed and matured in it. And the other people could have grown and healed and matured some in it. But to become more independent of this more worldly view of life and being in relationships more for these reasons of the world and making your life more about the world, they're not willing to detach from that. Or a friendship group or a family dynamic or something that they're kind of codependent on. And they invest in that, and then they want the people they get in relationship with to invest in that, and let that kind of be the third party. Let the world, let ego, let image, let status, let the things we indulge in be the third party, the most important thing in our life. And other people are like, but that's not the most important thing in my life, you know? And those people are willing to get out of a relationship with them, even though they could have love for them. I'm not going to keep indulging you or whatever it is that you want me to indulge, that you indulge. I don't think it's just and fair. even if they could live more from their mind than their heart. They love emotionally living more from their mind than their heart. Won't come out from behind their ego nature. They're happy hiding behind their ego nature. And you're supposed to be in a relationship letting them hide behind their ego nature. Well, that's like being in a relationship with someone's cardboard cutout person, their false person. How can you have a deep, meaningful relationship with someone who won't come out from behind their ego? Who won't free themselves from their mind or their fear or whatever, you know? So, if some more worldly, shadowy people keep indulging whatever manipulates them, and they don't want to see the truth of it, and they don't want to free themselves from it, they could have some trait, characteristic, something that other people end up seeing the truth of, and they don't care for it. And it's a hindrance to job, friendships, or relationships moving forward eventually. And they keep not wanting to see the truth. And the people that work with them or in friendships, relationships, can't keep staying in denial of the truth anymore. Eventually, the more high vibe people in their life tell them they're not going to work with them anymore. Though they could have love for them, I'm not going to indulge you, or I'm going to accept that you want to live your life the way it is, or do it the way you do it. But I'm not going to maybe help create an illusion about the type of person you are, because that's what some people can do too. You know, create the illusion they're a more just, fair, stable, grounded, loving person, get people in relationships with them, and it's just kind of to indulge themselves in it. They're never going to bring that dream into reality. And if it gets to the point where the people in their life want them to bring that dream into reality, it's like, oops, relationship over. Oh, so sad. Gotta go find someone else that I can go indulge in a relationship with, create the illusion that I'm more stable, grounded, mature than I am. But eventually, over time, you'll find out I'm not. Well, other people in their life, whether they are friends or family, could kind of be like, you know what? I don't really want to hang out with you and the people you date, because I don't want to help contribute to the illusion about the truth of who you are. And I think just by being more in friendship and relationship with you, I do that. And I think the people you get in a relationship with, you're just going to backstab them sooner or later, or you're going to indulge in your more immature nature or whatever. And I kind of feel like I want to warn them. And, you know, if you're my friend or family member, well, maybe more so just if they're a family member. With a friend, you might distance yourself. But a family member might say, I'm going to kind of keep my distance, you know, and, oh, no, we can't go do that. No, oh, that would be fun. You know, but you just don't. It'd be different if people were being truthful about the truth of who they are. Then, yeah, they kind of act like this or they do that. They're not trying to hide it, you know? And so we can all see it. Well, then we can all be around each other, because apparently you see it and you still want to be in a friendship or relationship with them. Hey, that's on you. I'm not contributing to creating an illusion because they are doing their truth. Okay, everybody sees it. I'm not creating an illusion about who they are. But for the people who do create an illusion, they could have more people in their life who don't want to contribute to helping creating an illusion about the type of person they are when they know that's not the truth. And, you know, some of you also saw the truth. Some of the people who initially knew someone who created an illusion maybe backstab someone who people know is kind of shadowy or stubborn or prideful or full of themselves or more materialistically motivated. Initially, some of those people could have felt sad, but they indulged those people. But the more it happens over and over, the more high vibrational people in their life aren't going to want to keep doing that. they'll always have some people in their life who maybe will keep indulging them and helping maintain the illusion, because they might be people who maybe do that too. The most important thing is to maintain that someone has a certain status or image in the world, and we all contribute to creating the illusion about some of the people they backstabbed and betrayed. None of us are willing to free ourselves from the people that we know who might be more immature or have some bad habits or whatever, and some other people are. So there you go, Pisces. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.